Hey everybody, this is Head on a Swivel here. Today we got something interesting to react to. It's another debate. I think I'm just gonna start reacting to debates more. I love them. I don't care. Whatever. I enjoy this. So it's gonna be between Destiny and Nick Fuentes. So they're not. It's not gonna be like a one-on-one debate. They're all kind of on like a stream on Twitch and all kind of debating Nick's views. So on the stream, there's gonna be Abba from Abba and Preach, Sneako, Young Don the Sauce God, and another guy named Jidion. It's also really funny and really entertaining. The whole video is actually an hour and a half. I'm not going to be reacting to the whole thing, but by any means, if you want to check it out, you can check it out. I'm going to post a video of the link in the description. So yeah, let's get into it.
Superior people. I think that people are unequal.
Well, hold on, but he thinks some people intrinsically have higher IQ than other people, to be honest. So he would say that on average, all else equal, a white person will be smarter than a black person.
Yeah, so just to start this video here, it looks like what's going on is I think Sneako is introducing Nick to Jidion and I believe Abba. By the way, these are like some of my favorite characters. I love Destiny. I love Sneako. I love Abba. If you're living under a rock and you haven't checked them out, please go check them out. They're super funny, super entertaining. I really enjoy watching them. Sneako's pretty cool too. I liked his older stuff. He kind of became unhinged as of now, but he'll get through it, you know.
Yes. I need to hear Nick say it because he believes that, just so we're all on the same page.
Have you met Jidion before? Jidion, Destiny.
Hi, what's up,
Destiny?
I love stealing your content on stream. How's it going?
We're just letting you know, on behalf of the Black delegation, we've elected Destiny to speak on this matter.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, well, before we
don't do any liberal racism, though. You got this.
I'm a huge liberal racist, okay, but I'm racist towards all people, so we're good. Okay, just before we jump into this, okay, I just be clear about who you're talking to, what the goal of the conversation is, okay? Nick has a political movement, a political ideology. His goal is not to sell you truth or to sell you a critical thought process. His goal is to sell you his political ideology. So if he comes across some idea that's contrary to what he believes, or some thought or fact that is contrary to his beliefs, he's not going to tell you that, and he's not going to incorporate it into his world.
So yeah, basically Destiny is doing a great job of breaking down what Nick is really good at and what he actually is saying. You'll see continuing on in the video on like just how he does it. But right now, Destiny's just kind of calling that out. And it happens with everybody that's like a white supremacist nowadays, because you have to be smarter than that. You know, you have to manipulate people into like believing, and then like you have to incrementally get them into that position. You can't just outright say like, no, I hate these racists. You know, you have to be palatable, and you have to kind of relate to the masses, for a lack of better term.
Only going to give you the pieces of information that he uses to sell his ideology. I think sometimes we're so hungry to talk to people that disagree with us, we think that everybody has valid things to say. Everybody's got valid points to consider, but you have to keep in mind what they're selling you at the end of the day. If I was to have a conversation with Nick about the value of, like, what do you think about like the soft sciences? What do you think about like psychologists and political scientists, Nick, in general?
Me?
Yeah.
I think there's some validity to that, but I don't put a lot of stock in empiricism.
Sure. So he doesn't put a lot of stock in those things, okay? The bell curve was written by a psychologist and a political scientist. These aren't genetics researchers. These aren't intelligence researchers. These aren't people that did huge dives into meta. It absolutely is true. Charles Murray is a political scientist, and Richard Bernstein.
So what Destiny's referring to here is Nick does a lot of, he like refers to these scientists a lot. So his whole thing is like, black people are genetically different, therefore they can't live together. Yeah, that's kind of his belief. Personally, I think, I don't know, judging people by race, there's just too much variation in humans. It's impossible, you know?
Charles Murray.
That's fine. We're not talking about, but I'm just saying that the book, The Bell Curve, if that book was about any other topic, you would dismiss it so quickly because of the scientific disciplines that those authors come from. You wouldn't even consider it for a second. But because it absolutely is true, and you know it. But because you just told me that you didn't put much stock in those disciplines. But you're willing to cite.
I didn't put stock in empiricism. I said I don't put as much stock in empiricism as you do, because you believe that everything is attributable to empirical knowledge, and everything should be derived from studies. I don't believe that all truth is derived from studies. I think we could derive truth from experience, and I think we could derive truth from logic, and we could recognize patterns. I don't think that we necessarily need to go and this is what you and Vosh and Hunter Avalon do, is study, study, show me a source, show me a study. And I think that studies can aid understanding, but I don't think that's the end all be all of knowledge. That's what I'm
Whenever
saying.
somebody criticizes studies, that's a red flag. Studies are the closest thing we have to like facts and stuff. Because it's been criticized by peers, it's been reviewed. It's the closest thing we have. Going off of experiences and like logic, yeah, for like the individual, but the individual only has so many experiences. Studies take into account so many variety of things. It has like a way more accurate depiction of what's actually going on. So I think that's kind of strange that he's kind of like saying studies aren't important. It's only about experience and logic. He's not saying he's not saying that it's not good. He's saying you could also rely on that, which I disagree with too.
And you're wrong about, if I thought that race and IQ was a wrong argument, I wouldn't push it. I wish it was wrong. I've had my entire life destroyed because I say these things. You think
So
I'm saying
basically what he says, his whole stitches is like white people on average have a higher IQ than black people on average. And he just says it's just genetics. That's just the way it is, and that's his message.
these things because it's like doing me a big favor? I'm banned from airlines and banks. I'm under investigation by the FBI, subpoenaed by Congress, in part because I say these kinds of things. So no, I go where the truth leads me. I'm a critical person. If you were to present to me an answer for why, when the Europeans colonized Africa in the late 19th century, they didn't have written language and they didn't have the wheel, and like why that is consistent with everybody evolving exactly the same way and everyone being exactly the same, I would probably be an egalitarian like you. But
no, it's not. It's not. It's just the idea is that, like, if there's differences between large groups of people throughout all of human history, the default position is to not know. You're the one that's asserting the positive claim of, oh, well, it must be because of biology. But we don't know that. Nobody knows that. There are different like indicators that like maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But to pretend that we have one grand narrative that can explain the differences between all the groups in all of human history, you're not going to find any academic discipline that's going to come together and agree on that. These are all hotly contested topics. That's all I'm saying. And also, when you say, I notice that people like you, sorry, and I'll shut the fuck up. People like you will always say things like, oh, like you just want to see study, study, study. But I'm a man of truth and experience and logic, and I recognize patterns. Bro, a pattern for a human is you have like two bad experiences with somebody, you write them off completely. That's not going to get you towards truth with a capital T. That's just going to tell us your subjective frame of reference, right? Like you might eat like two rotten pieces of fish and tell everybody that fish is the worst food in the world. That's no more truthful than viewing a study on something, or it's even less truthful, right? I don't like this. I don't like this hand waving of like all of the empirical data or all of the studies we can do to just say like, oh, well, I have my own experience, because you can go down so many stupid roads with that. Like obviously everybody's seen somebody do it.
Nick, who do you think is going to win the race war? Blacks or whites?
Well, unfortunately,
Depends on who the Jews side with.
Well, there's some truth in that, but unfortunately for us,
you hear him say there's some truth in that? No, he believes it. There's all truth in that. You see how he tries to like, what does it mean there's some truth in that? What does that even mean?
2100, the world is going to be full of Africans. I mean, by 2100, that's going to be 10 billion people, and 5 billion of them are going to be Black Africans. So I don't think, and frankly, I don't think any of us are going to win in that scenario, because the biggest content is going to be sub-Saharan Africa, and it's going to be like World War Z. They're just going to, it's that scene in World War Z when the zombies are climbing on top of each other.
It's always weird too. He always compare like black people, like he just compared like black people to like zombies. And like, he really, I could tell he wanted to compare them and he wanted to say it. I feel like he was just looking for the right situation to say that. So that's another thing to look out for too.
To Jerusalem, that's what it's going to be like in America and Europe with this population explosion happening there.
So there's going to be a bunch of African people acting like ants climbing up over each other.
Yeah, trying to get into Western countries.
Yeah, that's who you fighting for, blacks or whites?
Dude, I'm not gonna fight for a fucking race, dog. That's cringe as fuck.
He's gonna be to the side streaming it in the corner while there's a war.
Bro, Destiny, we're gonna draft you in to the black side, bro. You can be with us.
As long as I get an N-word pass, we're good. Okay, I'll fight for that. No, there's not even the idea even of race wars following on those exact lines. I thought there was a really funny question earlier. I don't know if Jidion or Sneako asked it. When you asked Nick, what kind of a woman are you looking for? Are you looking for like a 50% Italian, 25%?
That was Abba.
That was me, bro.
Whatever.
You can't recognize who it is.
2/3. I had a 2 out of 3 chance. I had a 2 out of 3 chance. Okay.
That was funny. He had it. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, ask a question. Yeah, like what do you even look for? What does it even mean to be black in the United States, right? You've got like African Americans, people that immigrate from fucking Kenya or Nigeria. They don't consider themselves black in the same way that like descendants of slaves are black. Nick doesn't consider himself white the same way that like somebody that's ethnically. Nick doesn't consider himself white the same way that like somebody that's ethnically fucking Russian or German or Scandinavian considers himself white. Like these are like super subjective
But then
concepts.
you just obfuscate. All you do is obfuscate. We know what black people are, bro. We know we can look at people.
That's not true, bro. Look at a
black.
picture of Obama when he visits Africa.
Okay.
It's black. Bro.
All right. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut this one a little short, but this is a really good discussion. Please go check it out. Again, the video link is gonna be um, in the description below. Yeah, I just want to kind of like just make it known how like these kind of people will try to manipulate you, but and what to look out for and the red flags you see when they're trying to get you, because ultimately their message is pretty hateful and it's pretty racist. But yeah, this is a very entertaining video. Probably gonna react to some more stuff like this. But that's about it for me, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later, man.